It's that familiar time of year again, the season of fresh opportunities, renewed goals, and the excitement of learning. It's back to school, and I do hope that if you haven't already, today will be spent making final preparations for the 2025-2026 school year. Hi there, my name is Jabertha Atkinson. Welcome to this edition of Jamaica Magazine. We have lots in store for you. Let's get these pages turning.
It was under the coconut tree, darling, under the coconut tree, darling, you promised to marry to me, darling, it was under the coconut tree.
Children do suffer from anxiety in varying kinds and at all ages. Children from say 2 years old to about 8, you'd usually see things like separation anxiety. So they're supposed to go to school, they don't want to be separated. You'll find situations where children tend to be very quiet or they're crying a lot. And also they complain of physical symptoms, stomach ache, headache, but there's no medical cause for it. For older children, so 9 up to about 8, 16, you'll find that those particular children tend to have seclusion, they don't want to be around anybody, not much interaction, and you see falling in grades as well. Usually, as parents, we tend to wait until our children achieve something. But we can do that before, so encourage them. In the airplane, they say, put on your mask first before you help anybody else. So that's one thing. Secondly, if you find that you're getting overly upset with your child, take the time out and walk out of the situation, 5-10 minutes, cool off, and come back and address the situation. They're going to be watching you. So set the example. How do you communicate? How do you express yourself? What do you share with people, with your children as well? Those are some important things to look at.
Technology is no longer just an option. It's becoming a vital part of how children learn, grow, and prepare for the future. Through varying devices, digital tools are transforming the school experience, and the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth, and Information is working to ensure that students not only have access to devices, but also the skills to use them effectively. More in this week's Get the Facts.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that keeps you informed about government's policies and initiatives. I'm Theodore Henry. As technology becomes an essential part of education, the ministry managing this sector is expanding its digital learning initiatives to support students from early childhood through secondary school. Today we'll explore how digital resources are being integrated into the classroom to make learning more interactive and engaging. Joining us is the Assistant Chief Education Officer of the Media Services Unit at the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, Dr. Nadine Sims. She's here to shed light on the tools and the resources available for both students and teachers. Thank you for joining, Dr. Sims.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Henry.
Let's jump right into getting some facts. So there are two things that are here in my mind. I'm hearing about the ministry's digital education strategy. If you could help us understand what that is very briefly, and then how the Media Services Unit ties into that.
Okay.
Right.
So the Ministry of Education's digital strategy, it's about integrating information, communication and technology, we call it ICTs,
Right.
within the education system.
Okay.
So ICTs will be used in administration and the teaching and learning, all right, for efficiency, to help with data-driven decision, and to make learning exciting for our students, which, are digital natives.
You came alive for that last part.
Yes.
Make education, learning exciting.
Exciting.
Yeah.
All right, so the Media Services Unit is the media production section within the Ministry of Education.
Okay.
So our mandate is we're responsible for creating, developing, and sourcing interactive educational resources for our students right across the system.
Okay.
Right? We are also responsible for accessing in terms of providing access through our ministry digital library platform, YouTube. Yes, there is a ministry digital library platform.
We're
It's
hearing some new
online.
things, yes.
Correct. And there is also a YouTube channel. We also have a TV station through PBCJ, which content is shared.
Wow.
All right. So think of it as creating, developing, sourcing, accessing, and we promote these educational resources or digital resources. So, for example, conducting this interview, is one of the ways in which we get the message out there.
Right.
We also participate in educational workshops, conferences, meetings, webinars. We go, we set up our booths, we have devices there, we have QR codes, we have persons coming to the booths, we give them brochures, and just to build an awareness of what is available.
Right.
We also do training and professional development for educational stakeholders, for example, or student teachers or school leaders or educators or education officers in new and emerging technologies, for example, artificial intelligence. And so, we help persons to know how to integrate this in their functions, day-to-day functions, as well as how to care for the different devices.
That's a big mandate, and you do a lot of work there.
A lot of work.
At the Media Services Unit. So
Yes.
what kind of content are you mentioned content and you mentioned curriculum. Give us a case study of something that you guys have put out.
So, for example, thanks for that question. Back in the day, we had some LMW readers, for example, Roy, we call it Roy and Pam for short. All right, so we have taken those resources and we have used AI, artificial intelligence, to make them come alive. So you will see a Pam and a Roy that looks like you and I, but they are younger versions, of course.
Okay.
The books are very interactive. The students can touch it, and the characters come alive. We use, there is closed caption that caters to students with special needs. And so the resources are very interactive because it's all about getting our students excited and want to read and learn and, to improve our literacy and numeracy.
Now, Doc, you can tell me if I'm on the right track here. It's very important for you to have this kind of content, this kind of access, because this is where the world is right now. This is where the students are already, this is the kind of stuff the students are already viewing. So the ministry sees this as what? Let's fit the content for their time. That's the idea here.
Right. Remember, our students, our current students, right across the system, they are digital natives. And so they love technology. They view technology mainly for entertainment.
Wow.
But we're taking it a step further. We're saying, yes, you love technology for entertainment, but there's the educational side of it. It is coined as edutainment.
Right.
So while you're embracing the technology, while you're scrolling, reading, you are also learning. So teaching and learning is taking place while they are in this space.
Right. And
Yes.
just underlining the word native, they're far more familiar and adroit to the screen with a
Yes, they are.
browser.
Right.
So putting stuff there, actually, we expect that to lead to better learning outcomes.
Yes. Also, with curriculum aligned resources, it reinforces the learning experience. So, for example, you can access the content 24/7. You can do self-paced learning. So, for example, if I was taught something and the content was very difficult, I can go back. Is there a simulation or a video that makes it come alive to me? For example, you're learning about the water cycle or living and non-living things in the environment.
Yeah.
The content is there. It shows you how the water cycle operates. It's, for example,
Yeah.
there's animation as well. There's the use of color, that appeals to the students. And so, even in our design phase, we take certain theories into consideration.
We're going to take a break. We'll have more of this discussion with Assistant Chief Education Officer of the Ministry of Education's Media Services Unit. That's Dr. Nadine Sims when we return. Please stay with us.
Keep that smile on their faces and preserve their innocence. Cherish the moments you have with them and create the best memories. Let's inspire our children to dream big and work hard to achieve all they aspire to be. Take the time to listen to our children and really hear their side of the story. Our children deserve love and the right to access their basic needs. Do your part and protect our children.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We're here with Assistant Chief Education Officer of the Ministry of Education's Media Services Unit, Dr. Nadine Sims. And we've learned about how the education sector is retooling the learning environment with digital tools. Now let's go further with the conversation. So, Dr. Sims, can you explain how the ministry ensures that the content stretching from primary to secondary, as a big swath, is age appropriate for the different levels?
So we ensure that it is age appropriate by first and foremost using the curriculum guides as a blueprint.
Right.
And so the curriculum would have already been written for the appropriate age groups. So the activities, the objectives would have been appropriate for the different levels within the system.
Right.
We also use universal design for learning principles. So in common term, that involves colors and the use of textiles to make content come alive.
Right, what works and what doesn't work.
Right.
Okay.
You have it.
I'm getting something.
Yes. We also use multiple media learning theories. And in layman's terms, that just involves the length and the depth of content creation. So for a young child, you would not produce a video that is too long. You know, it has to be like bite sizes.
Okay.
And colors are very important, and how you use the animation for the content to come alive. We also use AI to assist with the characters, voices, songs, etc. We also match talent with the different age groups. So if we're building content for a child, we would use a child's voice. If we're building content for a teenager, we would use a teenager. So those are just some of the principles that we use to make our content age appropriate.
Right, shackled to the curriculum, which is already developed.
Right,
a set
right.
and stable thing.
Right.
So moving on from that, we've heard quite a lot about recent results, CSEC results, CAPE results, PEP not so long ago. One of the things that's often reported on is how math and English literacy is doing. Is there, and I know that some people who are watching will draw a straight line between what you're producing and what they have heard.
Yes.
What are your expectations for the things coming out of the Media Services Unit, the work you're doing there? How do you expect it to move the needle for Jamaica?
All right. So we expect it to move the needle because currently the Ministry of Education is transforming education for national development. We call it TREND.
Yes.
Right? So
trend.
right. So we're trending as we
Upwards.
speak. Right. And so we're transforming the education landscape. So for example, at grades 1 to 3, the content that is there, we are using it to excite our students to want to read and to learn. With them being excited and wanting to read and learn, they will eventually become self-directed learners. And so you find that, they don't have to wait until they're in the classroom to want to read a book, for example. We also, the technology allows them to be self-paced. So they can access the content 24/7, as well as they can review, repeat the content until learning takes place. Also, our content, we have interactive assessment that caters to multiple intelligences. So for example, if you're spatially intelligent, the different learning styles, if you're an auditory learner or if you're a visual learner, it appeals to you. If you have different accessibility needs, we ensure that closed caption or somebody's there doing sign language, so we're catering to the different learning realities.
So if I could jump in here, by matching content to realities, by meeting the children where their needs are, we're expecting that we'll get better outcomes.
Yes.
Because perhaps some of these things were pressing down on their ability to grow in the area.
Right.
That's the idea here.
Right. So we're moving away from learning or the resources being passive.
And one size fits all.
Right, right. So it is interactive, engaging, and it stimulates you to want to learn. So that is what we want to develop persons who become very excited about learning. And you know that we have an agenda looking at improving numeracy and literacy.
Yes.
So we're doing everything possible to get our students to be very focused when it comes to accessing content.
Excited and focused.
Excited and focused, right.
So we're almost at the end. You've spoken about what you're doing now. What are the plans for expansion?
So we will be investing in software that will assist to improve literacy and numeracy. The software has diagnostic capabilities. So although you and I will be using the same software, your needs may be different from mine.
Right.
And so the teacher will be informed as to our different needs. And so the intervention will be targeted. So if you have a shortcoming in numeracy and I have one in literacy, we will get content to plug that gap based on where the needs are. We also have our accessible digital textbooks, and those resources were specifically designed for students with special needs.
Right.
We also look at differentiated learning, and so we have the same content and it is presented in different ways based on our needs. So those are some of the things that we are doing at the ministry to expand, to cater to the different needs or the realities, as you mentioned earlier, because it's about moving the needle as it relates to enjoying their education journey.
Yes, and trending upwards. You know, I liked how you mentioned that the teacher will get a report, so the software will actually help the teacher in the diagnosis of the students. Well, we're in the final few seconds of the interview, Doc. Teachers are watching, parents are watching, students are watching. Is there anything you'd like to say directly to them?
All right, so for our teachers, we're encouraging them to go to the ministry's website to access content, as well as to go to the Book Fusion website, where the Ministry of Education's digital library platform, there's a plethora of resources that's there to help with teaching and learning. For parents, there is the PEP website, which there is our National Standards Curriculum, parent hotlines that they can get information if they need help, and all those resources are there. For the students, we're telling them embrace the e-resources, embrace the e-books, use the phonics charts. And so we're encouraging parents to come and be a part of the journey, just go along with their child and access the resources and see what's there. And one of the things with digital technology too is that it gives instant feedback.
Yes.
And so you have an idea where you are, where the gaps are. Also with ICTs, it prepares our students for life.
Yeah.
So when they complete their secondary education, some will go into the world of work, while some will go to higher education. Doesn't matter where you go, with these ICT skills and to be familiar with digital content, you're better able to function. Yes, it will. So.
And so that Jamaica may, in education, at the very least, trend upwards.
Correct.
This has been Get the Facts. So our guest was Assistant Chief Education Officer of the Media Services Unit at the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, Dr. Nadine Sims. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. Take good care.
All children deserve positive parenting. Why not pamper us? Be patient with us. Make time to teach us and, of course, play with us. Celebrate milestones with us and don't forget to be our #1 supporter. Do all these things and practice positive parenting today.
Looks fun, right? Just take a second to think before you jump. It might look safe, but hidden rocks and shallow waters are real dangers. One bad jump can change everything. You can't always see what's under the surface. That's why it's never a good idea to dive into unknown waters. Always go in feet first and stay safe. I promise the thrill isn't worth the risk.
Up next, clinical psychologist Dr. Marlon Simpson shares how parents may ease anxiety in their children while also helping to build their confidence. Watch now to learn more.
It is a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease about something with an uncertain outcome. The feeling or belief that one can have faith in or rely on someone or something, and one can preclude the other. But do children even suffer from anxiety and low confidence?
Yes, children do suffer from anxiety in varying kinds and at all ages. Academic pressure, and then that also comes from pressure from parents to perform academically and socially as well as even peer pressure, bullying as well in schools, cyberbullying as we're seeing now as well. Those are major contributing factors.
Generally, a child's day should be filled with laughter, curiosity, and growth. But for many children, for many different reasons, worry walks alongside them, and it shows up in different ways with children of varying ages.
Children from say 2 years old to about 8, you'd usually see things like separation anxiety. So they're supposed to go to school, they don't want to be separated. You'll find situations where children tend to be very quiet or they're crying a lot. And also they complain of physical symptoms, stomachache, headache, but there's no medical cause for it. For older children, so 9 up to about 8, 16, you'll find that those particular children tend to have seclusion, they don't want to be around anybody, not much interaction, and you see falling in grades as well.
Recognizing the signs early is the first step in helping them cope.
Usually, as parents, we tend to wait until our children achieve something, but we can do that before. So encourage them. All right, you've done well up to this point. That's good. Continue to do or work hard. I like how you're paying attention more in class now. So you're picking up on smaller things. All right, so I noticed that you're doing your chores without me asking you. That's very good. So forms of encouragement from parents. Also, children mimic what their parents are doing, or guardians. So try to set a good example for the children as well by remaining calm.
Anxiety usually comes because of a disruption in natural routines that children may have. So Dr. Simpson recommends maintaining these as much as possible.
Morning time routine, daytime and even bedtime, homework routines are good. So whether the parent is there or there's a guardian, ensure that there's a set routine in morning and at night time. So having a set schedule or routine for children is a very, very good way to help them. That sort of consistency helps to lower any kind of anxiety that a child may have. as long as anxiety is not too high.
Yes, one's anxiety level can escalate, and this is where the good doctor recommends seeing a professional. Having an aggressive attitude to try and combat these heightening symptoms is never the way to go.
Usually having an aggressive approach makes the situation worse. So it's actually having a conversation with the child and saying, all right, what's happening at school? Doesn't have to be a long conversation, but you get some idea of what's going on. And as much as possible, go to the school and see what's happening and what ways or what things can be done to change what's happening, particular bullying, for example. But having that initial conversation with the child, don't underestimate the child's ability to express him or herself. So have them explain and they will tell you what's happening and then find alternate ways of dealing with it.
So, when should one seek professional help?
At any point in time. Don't wait until something goes drastically wrong to have the child come in and be assessed. If you're noticing slight changes in mood, in behavior, if there are some symptoms that you're not so sure about, please do not find online sources to help you. Come to us as the professionals and we'll help you to understand what may be happening, and early intervention actually helps a lot more with children with varying challenges.
And combating these challenges won't happen overnight, but small, consistent actions can help. Little by little, you will begin to see your child's confidence growing, but that's not all.
First of all, take care of yourself, because it doesn't make sense that you're burnt out. You can't help your child at all. So if you need support or help, get the help first for yourself. You know, in the airplane, they say, put on your mask first before you help anybody else. So that's one thing. Secondly, if you find that you're getting overly upset with your child, take the time out and walk out of the situation, 5-10 minutes, cool off, and come back and address the situation. Because a lot of times, the first response is what usually gets cemented in the child's mind. So if it's an overly negative and then you're going to apologize, it's not going to make much of a difference. Also, continue to mirror the behaviors that you want. So children, of course, live what they learn. So they're going to be watching you. So set the example. How do you communicate? How do you express yourself? What do you share with people, with your children as well? Those are some important things to look at.
The Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statin will be conducting the 2025 Jamaica Survey of Living Conditions JSLC starting August 2025. For over 30 years, PIOJ analysis of JSLC data has helped to shape national policy, including on education, healthcare, and social support. When the JSLC team visits your home, participate. Your voice helps guide real solutions. For more information, visit statinja.gov.jm or WhatsApp Statin at 876-569-1083.
We have come to the end of today's show. I do hope that you enjoyed this package. To catch a repeat of this or any other, feel free to log on to our website at jis.gov.jm. Until next time, I'm Jabertha Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.